Hey everybody, welcome back. If you're expecting a happy joy video, I'm just gonna warn you ahead of time, this isn't it. Today's video, I want to talk about stress eating or emotional eating. It seems to be a problem, especially with women. Not to say that men don't eat emotionally, because we all know that that's not true. It's been rough. So last week, Larry tested positive for COVID. I did not, but I was still feeling under the weather. And I'm still not 100%. I've been sneezy and a little congested. As far as Larry's concerned, he's doing much better. He did have a little bit of cough, but not much. That was early on. He was running a fever, congestion, fatigue, you know, but it was bad enough for us to cancel our trip to Keto and cancel our plans to go see my dad and Mama Marty. So that happened, and then this war broke out. I'm not the type of person to hop on into the news. Oh, what's happening? You know, let me know. I just knew that there was something going on. I was troubled by it for sure. My heart did sink, and you know, I've been in prayer about it. I did end up venturing out of the house solo on Saturday just to get out of the house, get a little fresh air. And by the time I had returned is when I started doing my dive into the news feed, and it was terrifying to say the least. Scary, sad, and that's when the depression really started to sink, right along with my emotional eating. So Saturday through Tuesday, I did my very best, but I did do some binge eating, some emotional eating. Although I did keep it to keto-friendly foods, I certainly didn't keep myself into ketosis. I realized I'm not the only one. A lot of people in group had mentioned how this war is affecting them. They're already dealing with anxiety and depression and just all over sadness. You know, I wasn't feeling that great. I was already down from being ill and then feeling the effects of not being able to go to Keto-palooza, which Larry and I have been looking forward to for like 6 months. There's a reason for it, a reason we didn't go. I'm not trying to throw boo-hoo, woe is me, pity party, we couldn't go to Keto-palooza. I was just sad at the time, you know, seeing all the other pictures roll in and everybody having a good time. I was really looking forward to meeting and or seeing some of you again, and it just didn't happen. The cards fell, and where they laid is, you know, you just got to deal with that. So that was disappointing. So we were a little depressed from that, you know. But I was happy for everybody else. But like I said, Saturday evening rolled around, I started doing my dive, and I was horrified. These are the times when your faith is really tested. And there's a lot of innocent lives that were lost. I've tried very hard to stay out of the news feed, which that's difficult because every time we go into YouTube, things that we watch are going to be recommended. You know, we watch independent news sources. The headlines are there. You can't escape that. So the last 2 days, I've pretty much stayed off of it. I know there are some horrific things that are going on. And again, I can't unhear it and I can't unlearn it. So the best I can do is just steer clear. I've been in prayer a lot. I've been experiencing extreme depression. Even having the attitude of, why even try? Why even bother anymore? You know, what's the use? It has greatly affected me. Sadness, depression, anxiousness, anger, resentment. Prayer has been my stronghold. Okay. That's all I can do. And ask others to pray as well, which that's what I'm going to ask y'all to do too, because that's all we've got. You know, here in America, or, you know, out in the UK, down in Australia, and in other parts of the world, that's all we can do, which is powerful. There's a lot of power in prayer, especially when there are 2 or 3 more gathered in my name, there I am in the midst of you. So yeah, it's taken me to binge eating, starting Saturday evening, and it ended yesterday. As I said, I kept it low carb, keto friendly. It still did damage. You know, I didn't even bother counting a thing, and I certainly didn't moderate what I ate. I made quadruple batches of chaffles with all the cheese. Went back to my coffee with all the dairy, heavy cream. I even bought some pumpkin pie spice. I could have done a lot worse. Because I did have that forget it attitude, you know, the end of the world is here. I could have done a lot worse. I could have went out and got cake, which is exactly what the first thing I would have went for, is some type of cake. Pizza, pasta, casseroles, all the comfort foods, which they would have been comforting for a minute and taken my mind off of everything. But what good would that have done me? I'd have to say that this is the first time in my life, well, maybe the second, because getting the news of my concerning lab work results somewhat recently, I kind of had that attitude then, but I completely stopped myself. And with the exception of being on vacation, which was just a few weeks after I got my lab results. And yes, I went to Keto, and I pretty much did the same thing. However, I did moderate better then than I did now that I'm home and, you know, I have everything, you know, like I said, all the chaffles with all the cheese. And Larry and I even went out to eat. And Larry joined me.
I'm pleading the fifth, dear viewer,
on all of this. So, you know, this isn't just me. Larry joined me. He's back to drinking coffee. So I don't know if I drug him down with me or if he was there in that same mindset. I know that it's been bothering him too. We were supposed to go and have a getaway on Monday evening. We were going to leave and just go out into the Blue Ridge Mountains in North Carolina. And we had a room just to get away from all of it. And as the reports were coming in with the news, it's just, to Larry, it felt like 9/11 all over again. To me, it felt much worse. How can we leave? Go and enjoy ourselves. Do anything. So we canceled that trip too. We were feeling well enough and Larry's no longer testing positive for COVID. So we thought, okay, let's just have a getaway. We can venture out of the house. We didn't go. It didn't feel right. So we thought it was best to stay close to home, which is exactly what we did. We just kind of both agreed, yeah, let's just eat this. And it started with the chaffle, right? And then, of course, the coffee. I ventured out of the house Saturday and I did really well. There was a fall festival. I got nothing other than a gigantic cappuccino. There was a stand with pork rinds, but they were sold out. The smells of the food were amazing. And, you know, I didn't get any of it. And I'm really proud of myself for that. But when I got home, you know, I'm like, well, you know, I couldn't have this and I didn't have that, so I'm going to treat myself. And that's when the chaffles came in. Like, I've already had the coffee. I'm already feeling a little bit down. We bought some half and half. It was in the house. So we're drinking the coffee again. And I thought, why not? It's better than X. It's better than Y, which it is. There's no doubt. It definitely halted any progress I was making, but I also think that maybe it might have saved me because I know what I'm capable of. Like I said, I would have dove into the bakery items and the casseroles and all of that. And then we made the conscious effort and did something we normally never do, which is go out to eat. We did the best we could. Now, mind you, there was no dessert involved, no bread or anything like that. It was meat, a lot of cheese, a lot of seasonings. I had chili rellenos, okay? And this is an authentic Mexican restaurant, so the recipe is authentic. And it's not deep fried and floured, it's egg batter. But the cheese, and what was it fried in? You know, I didn't even think about it, not twice. And I had some guacamole salad and just things like that, you know? So we kept it clean. Let me rephrase that. We kept it better than it could have been. Because if it were up to me, it would have been some chicken flautas and not some vegetable and meat shish kebabs. You know, just things like that. It would have been so many other things. The rice and beans, and instead we had some chorizo sausage with the cheese sauce, you know, along with the chili rellenos. And we could have done a lot worse. And if it weren't for Larry being at that restaurant and maybe I brought somebody else with me, I probably would have done a lot worse. He kept me in check this time around because he's much more concerned about me than I am. He worries more about anybody and everybody he's close to for obvious reasons. But, and if you don't know, well, just check out our content in the last few months. There's that emotional eating, but it could have been a lot worse, you know, and there's so much to be said about eating your emotions. that's what I do when I'm highly stressed out. I mean, this is the most stressed out I've been, other than the test results. And like I said, to me, this is a lot worse. This is sinister. The tragedy that is happening is significant, and innocent lives, like I said, they're lost. So I did what I do best. Pray and eat. It's not funny. I think that's just a nervous laugh. I know that a lot of you are suffering right along with me. And I just encourage you to do the best that you can. If you fall off the wagon and you're eating flour and sugar, that's okay. That's the stage you're in. Eventually you will get to the point where I'm at. And hopefully you get some accountability with you if you do take that step and go into the restaurant. I can't say for sure whether I would have. Like I said, I know a lot of you are dealing with this too. And that's why I'm making this video. Not happy, happy, joy, joy. I'm not going to put out a video with a fake smile and give you loads of encouragement because it's all meat and happiness. No, it's not. It's not. It's very difficult. These are difficult times that we live in. The world's already completely screwy and upside down. And this was the icing on the cake. I'm not going to lie. I'm angry with what's going on out there. And I'm sad. And I'm depressed. What was meant for evil, God will make good. And with our family history, we know that all too well. Pray for the world. Pray for the innocent lives out there. And continue to keep your brothers and sisters in the carnivore community and all over the world in prayer. Because we all need it. There's more to the carnivore space than eat meat, be happy. In a perfect world, yeah, that's what it would be. But this is a very flawed world. And I'm more than a meat eater. I'm a human being just like you. Ever since being sick and now this, it's been a solid week before I wanted to get in front of the camera. And I kept telling Larry, there's no way I'm going to get in front of that camera, fake a smile for a topic that there's probably 10 other videos out there about. Not during this time. That's not me. Sorry. This is the issue I wanted to tackle because, again, people have expressed how they're feeling. And I just want you to know you're not alone. And I know as the days go on, I will start to feel a little better about it because I do believe in the power of prayer. So just got to get back in it. And maybe this video is what I needed to move on. Just know that I'm praying for you. And I hope you do for me too. I know a lot of you are for test results and whatnot, but you know, there's a lot bigger problems in the world than that right now. Mental health is just as important as your physical well-being. So on that note, just know that I'm praying for you. I'm praying for the world, and you all take care.